Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today, checking out some more classic German beer, some Weissbier. And it's been a while since I tried to do some videos, and then I did something with my new microphones where I muted it so there's no sound in the video. I did some pretty fun reviews of some old muddy stuff, but I don't know if I've had COVID or what's been going on, but prior to shooting this year's Grand Christmas calendar, I really just haven't shot any reviews in a long time because I just haven't been able to smell and taste anything that well, which is crazy, but I can smell something now. That's good. I think we're getting to a point now where it's more than, pretty much back to normal, but it was like, it's been over 3 weeks now where I've not had a proper sense of smell and taste. I think in the first video maybe of the Grand Christmas calendar, it was not completely there. Then I took some sinus clearing stuff, and that actually helped a lot, especially for the last two videos. But yeah, it's scary, but it feels like it's more in tune now, and I want to do some reviews. I've pretty much just blown through my entire back catalog in the wait. So yeah, let's drink some beer. Also because I have some beers that should be drunk fresh, so we need to get through them. So let's see how these are doing. So this one is a beer that I remember was the talk of the town. It's so hard to get and whatnot. Like when I was getting into beer, this was in a book, I think. Oh, maybe was that 50 beers you have to try before you die? I'm not sure, but it was a talked about beer, and it was a harder to get beer. And this is Erdinger's Urweisse. So my least favorite of all the well-known German Weissbiers is Erdinger. I've never been a big fan of Erdinger. I think it's too weak in flavor profile, too thin, and it's just not the same experience as drinking some of my favorite producers, Weizens, like Andex, Schneider, Mein-Stefaner, if we're just talking big names. There's also one I recently discovered, Gutmann. There's a few that make some really nice ones, but Erdinger was never it for me. But this one was, for a long time, a beer. I remember a lot of people talked about, like, yeah, you tried Erdinger, but did you try the Urweisse? That's their secret good beer. And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, I need to try this. And I think I tried it at some point, but I really don't remember what I thought. It was really early in my craft beer journey. And I think it was because I went to Germany. And this is how I got this as well, because I've never seen this in Denmark. This was bought in Germany in a Getränkemarkt. It was one of these big beverage markets in a lot of the bigger supermarkets in Germany. And they had this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to mix a lot of different bottles to bring back and do videos on. And this was one of them. So it will be fun to try Erdinger Urweisse again, maybe 15 years later or so. This was before YouTube. It was like maybe when I've been around like 18, 17. It was in high school, I think. I remember all the stories about this. And in Denmark, the legal drinking age is 16, so I wasn't doing anything illegal. But yeah, interesting. Urweisse from Erdinger. 4.9% Hefeweizen. This one, they talk about being Hefeweizen. They brew in the Bavarian style. They talk about how it's more rich. You get more body in the beer. It has higher levels of CO2 that gives a different flavor profile to the other beers. And they use crystal malts, which is different to some of at least their classic Erdinger Weissbier. But they also have a winter Weizen. I don't think I ever had that either. But I tried the Fest one. I tried the dark one. I tried the alcohol-free. They also have the platinum, something like that. It's kind of like a Bock type thing, I think. I never tried that either. There's a few Erdinger Weizens I never tried because they were never really exported to Denmark. What you mainly see is just the regular and the dunkle. But let's check out the Ur version here. So you can definitely see that they use some crystal malt in it because it has a similar color to this beer, Schneiderweise, because that's also like a darker Hefeweizen. It's got a hazy, orange, cloudy look to it, pouring out with the beautiful, frothy off-white head. Let's check out the aroma on the Urweisse. So it does feel richer on aromatics. I think definitely my palate or my nose is getting back on point. It feels a bit more rich in its character than classic Erdinger. I think Erdinger can be a bit too weak. It feels stronger in the malt backbone. It feels richer in the yeast character. It definitely smells like a much better version of Erdinger, I think. Rich banana notes. There's clovey notes. Very rich Munich malt-like breadiness. Touches of caramelized notes, caramelized banana notes. But it's very light on that. But this is not how I remember a classic Erdinger smelling. This smells more like what I think of a proper Bavarian Hefeweizen. Even maybe a hint of nutmeg there. That smells pretty good. Let's try it. Cheers. It's definitely better than regular Erdinger, for sure. But it's also not like getting me real fired up compared to some of the best, I think. It almost seems like a Schneiderweisse in an Erdinger format. Almost. Like if you think of Schneiderweisse with more rich malt and even more velvety body than this. Because it has some of those crystal malt notes you get in a Schneiderweisse, for sure. But it's just a bit more light and dull compared to a Schneider. But it's definitely miles ahead and the regular Erdinger. Like if I saw this at a restaurant or whatever, and this was the only Weizen they had besides regular Erdinger or the Erdinger Dunkel, I would take this any day. It's definitely more on point flavor-wise. Very well carved. But I think it's also a freshness thing. Weizens are best really, really fresh. Most beer is best really, really fresh. I think this might have been packaged in April of 24 because that's the expiration date. And most breweries will give their beers a year of shelf life. So then it's quite understandable. It's almost December. This is an 8-month-old bottle. And then, of course, it's not going to be super awesome. But it's not really showing many signs of age other than it just has a little bit of a dullness about it. But yeah, flavor follows the nose. More rich Munich maltiness, nice banana notes, caramel notes, toffee notes, maybe even a hint of vanilla. Spice is a little less. Like if you like the more banana-driven ones, you'll like this. But there is some spice, some slightly clovey, slightly nutmeggy notes, but they're softer on the palate. Very doughy, very bready feeling. Fizzy, hizzy carbonation, slightly fluffy area in the mouth, but finish is a little bit watery compared to some other Weizens. I think this has a lower finishing gravity than the ones I often really like because they have a little bit more sweetness to them. It's like hairs of more sweetness I would want in this. Grade on this one? A solid 85, actually. I'd be happy to drink this again. It's definitely the best Erdinger product I've had. So there might be something about this being the secret crazy good Erdinger. It's definitely better than most of the others I've tried. There's 2 variants I haven't tried, but yeah, it's not a brewery I drink beer from often. The last time I probably drank Erdinger Weizen might have been getting towers of it at a German-style beer bar in Denmark. Quite a few years back. No, maybe actually for Fancy Beer Fest after party. No, that was lager. But we did drink Hefeweizens by the bottle, and I think it was Weissbräu. Oh well, it doesn't matter. But if you guys had the Erdinger Urweisse, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton for watching, and as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and some nice classic Weizen, and see you guys in another beer review.